So today
we're reviewing
65.
not 56. All right, so
47 meters down.
so we just got back from watching 65. It is a new movie starring Adam Driver, but we went to see this movie, didn't really have high expectations, but
Speak for yourself.
yeah, I didn't. Jake, what were your initial thoughts? Or should we start with Megan? Megan, what were your initial thoughts of 65?
So I'm trying to be not biased because I would just respect Adam Driver as an actor, but I really do think the movie was good. I mean, I didn't really have like an idea of what it was about. I knew it was something about dinosaurs, and we got dinosaurs. But I liked the relationship between the two characters more. I thought it was really cute. I like seeing actors work with younger new actors. I think that's always a cool concept. So I was kind of watching that more than the dinosaurs. So that's just me though.
Jake, what were your initial thoughts?
I would say, like, leaving the theater, there was a lot to like about this movie. And going into the movie, I actually had I wouldn't say, like, I was expecting this movie to blow me away 100%, but I was honestly going into this movie pretty excited to see what they would do with it. Obviously, we're big dinosaur fans here with the Jurassic universe. So getting another dinosaur movie, it's like the first Elseworld, Otherworld dinosaur movie that we've gotten since Jurassic Park, right? And there's really not many others out there.
No one really touches that stuff.
Yeah, no one really touches dinosaurs, at least in the film and in theaters. So to see this movie was really there was a lot to like about it, and it was just a really cool concept. And there was a lot of positives. And honestly, leaving the theater, I was very happy with my experience watching the movie, and I think overall it was a really good movie.
Yeah, like I said, at least for me, my expectations weren't really high, even though there were some excellent trailers for this movie. So I was excited, but I wasn't, like, this wasn't one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And overall, walking out, I thought it was good. It wasn't, like, anything crazy. It wasn't, like, going to be probably one of my favorite movies of the year, most likely. But there's a lot to like here. And, yeah, why don't we go into our positives with the film, Megan? Other than Adam Driver. Being Adam Driver.
I think the acting on both characters, I mean, you only see so many characters because it's kind of one of those movies.
Oh, yeah.
But the characters that you interact with the most, I think the acting was on par. I think they did a really good job and made it very believable because it's kind of hard to act without having without having a big cast and crew. So I think they did a really good job with that. The graphics were pretty good. Like, I didn't see anything wrong with CGI because sometimes the CGI just doesn't look believable in movies, but I think it looked pretty
really
good. So.
Jake, your father?
I would say that just the setting. Obviously, this movie, we won't spoil exactly where it takes place or like the details of what the storyline does. For the movie and the scenery, it was great, and I love just each set piece. Just you see it from the trailers. Adam Driver's character exploring the woods.
Mills.
You can see that, like, from the trailers, he's obviously on a planet that he doesn't know where he is. So it's definitely a situation where it's just a really cool setting and the scenery, and like you said, the special effects were great. I would say they were good. They were good enough. They were not bad at all. They were pretty good in some aspects. They were amazing, and I like the designs of some of these dinosaurs you got in this movie. You got some that you knew what they were, but I'm glad to see a movie take some other dinosaurs and other, like, four dinosaurs and species, because there's a lot of species of dinosaurs that we don't even know about because in Jurassic Park, like they cover a lot of dinosaurs, but they don't cover, like, probably 80% of all the dinosaurs that were out there. So
they cover the hybrids.
It was really cool to see different dinosaurs in this movie and the setting. And I think, like you said, this is a very small cast in this movie. And there's another element to this movie that I won't spoil, but it makes it to where dialogue is pretty much non-existent in this movie, at least in a normal form. So with that whole aspect of the movie, I thought there was a pretty cool dynamic there. And obviously, Adam Driver is a great actor, so he, like, not being able to actually communicate with someone, as you see in this movie, really created a situation where there's a lot of scenes where there's no lines at all. So it has to be portrayed in a non-speaking way of just, emotions and body language. And both Adam Driver, and I'm not sure the name of the kid actress, but I know her name in the movie is, like,
Ariana, maybe.
Ariana or something, but The girl actor in this movie did a great job in her role too. If that dynamic did not work, this movie would have probably dropped, but it definitely worked. And
Gracious.
Sorry.
and I would have to say overall, like the cast, the scenery, and some of the shots are really cool in this movie.
Yeah, my positives included the CGI, the effects were really good. They were top notch for certain scenes. There were really cool dinosaurs, and you could see them. And it really is a top notch CGI for a lot of the movie.
The sound too.
Yeah, the sound was really good, and that brings up a big positive. Is the sound of the dinosaurs was cool. The sound of the gun and the technology that the main character uses is excellent, and that's also a big positive. Like the unique technology brought up in this movie that the characters have. Obviously, the acting's great. Then, yeah, in particular, the certain sound effects of the gun he has is really cool. It's almost out of like a video game, but it's like epic the way it echoes off the walls and stuff. And then there's excellent sound design for certain scenes I can't spoil. And yeah, the acting, the sound, the visual effects, and the overall tension in the movie is probably the biggest positives. Why don't we get into our negatives? Negatives with the film?
I think the only negatives I can think of is I'd like more backstory, or not the plot, but like I feel like there are some gaps. The plan, I don't know. Like what was he? Oh, I can't say it.
Some like more expansion.
What
of the
his
characters.
mission was, like what was he looking for? Like we never
Yeah.
kind of got those details for stuff I can't say, but I just wish we would have gotten more backstory, I guess. And I was gonna say a negative of like there not being that much dialogue, but I feel like in the absence of dialogue, you can body act in like more emotions, like you were saying. So I think that's not necessarily a negative.
Maybe need some more questions answered. Maybe would
Yeah.
you say?
Yeah, I think there's also
Negatives?
I think there's some give and take on that, because the storyline in some ways I appreciated it not giving a 30-minute backstory of their home world that wouldn't really matter as much. They give you enough to know that this is something else, but you would have liked to know exactly what is his job, because
A few more questions.
it
answered.
seemed like from what they said, you got a very vague explanation of where he was going. But yeah, the storyline definitely could have been a little more detailed in certain aspects. And I would also say, just for being a dinosaur fan, there were some times where I wish we would have got a little more dinosaur footage, because there was times where we cut away. Like there was a scene in particular where I remember like it's he's like looking over the edge of like this mountain, and you see something really awesome taking place down below. And obviously it gets cut short. There's a lot of times where there were some shots I wish you would have got a little more clear footage of the dinosaurs, but I understand it's hard to get all that in the movie. But I obviously, as a dinosaur fan, I would have loved a little more dinosaur action. It was going to be
We're gonna have a talk later.
wait.
Don't hurt yourself.
Come back.
Oh yeah, the use of flashbacks in this movie. There's a lot that made sense, and like it definitely added impact to the movie. There was points where I thought there was maybe a little too much flashbacks, but that's kind of a nitpick. And I think my biggest thing was also the storyline. Was Megan and I during the movie? There's a point where I was kind of confused of what was going on, because at the very beginning of the movie, there's a scene that takes place, and you don't know when that takes place in relation to the story. Put the puzzle pieces into place, which I think some movies that's awesome, where the movie makes you be the one trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I feel like they did that on purpose.
Right, but that's where, like I said, like the give and take. Like there's some things that are really good about it, but then also there's things that maybe could be better about the storyline.
Yeah, my main negatives include this is a short movie, but there's definitely still some slow moments where, I mean, they're trying to survive. There's some slower moments, but then I think my other biggest negatives is probably that there's a lot of scenes in the dark, there's obviously realism to how dark it is in the wild. But there's a lot of scenes where there's really cool dinosaurs on screen and you can't see them, and it gets a little frustrating for those scenes. Because there's certain ones, like one in a cave that looked like a really creepy one, but you really never get a great shot of them.
Yeah.
And even some towards the end, you don't really get a good shot of them. There's not really that many stupid character decisions. I can't complain about that. Even though Adam Driver, or Kylo, whatever you call him, a main character does get really... It seems like whenever he runs, Megan and I were talking about this, he either... They're just going to sleep in here. Just going to sleep. Yeah.
Dude, open the door.
Neil.
Your legs.
She didn't choke, like a bark choke.
We We have to watch that back.
All right, Miley. The main character, it seems like he runs out of control in certain scenes, and either he dislocates things, he breaks things, he twists knees and ankles, but so his character makes a lot of dumb decisions in that aspect, where he just like runs into stuff. But that, like I said, I can't really complain about that much. And the way some stuff towards in the third act, kind of frustrated me a little bit, but I can't go into it without spoilers.
Yeah,
but that's my negatives with the film.
Yeah, my final thoughts, guys. Though it was a really good movie. And there was honestly more that I think about it. There's some really unique scenes that were really cool and things I've never seen before. One scene that was pretty disgusting in a cave that I did not expect to see in this movie. That was while it was like disgusting to see, it did a great job and came at this point during the movie. It did not sugarcoat what this 65 where this movie takes place, like how brutal it was and how hard it was to survive. But remember that cave scene with the girl when she's trying to sleep. That I was like, they're not going to do that. And it was pretty. I don't know.
With a bug?
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
Yeah,
I mean, like a bug crawling in your mouth as you're sleeping. It was like a beetle.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. And then also that one dinosaur that you thought was they save and then it's
That's
eaten.
a spoiler.
But it's brutal though. Like it shows that this world is really tough to survive, and it just did a great job.
Eat you the F up. It really is.
It did a great job of capturing the brutalness of the world and how hard it is to survive. And I think that was a testament to the movie. And
the world's brutal out there.
Also, I did want to give a shout out to the comedy. There was pretty funny scenes too, because this is obviously a very serious.
That's what I was gonna say.
Serious movie when
There's
it
still
brings you
Final
like that.
thoughts score though. Just go.
My score for this
10 out of
movie,
10.
I'd have to give 65 a very solid 8 out of 10. It was very in good time in the theater.
What are your final thoughts of score?
I mean, I think it's a really good movie. It's rewatchable. I would definitely go see it again. Try not to be biased, but other than that,
Try.
I'd probably give it a good. I'll give it 9.8 out of 10.
Ooh.
I just didn't want to give it a 10 because you guys are gonna judge me.
No, mate.
You
Give
give
it
it a
whatever you
10.
want, man.
I'm giving all the movies 10s.
Give it whatever you
I
want.
know. I just been being biased.
Just give whatever score you want.
I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Surprise!
So, this movie was an interesting, fun movie to watch. Obviously, the acting was great from the main actors, actress, and there was stuff to like. That I had my negatives. I think it was too short because this is a very short movie. I mean, one of the shortest movies we've seen in a while. But I really think it could have been longer because I think that there was a lot more I wanted to see. I wanted to find out. There's epic scenes in this. There's great sound effects, great visual effects. I have my negatives, and I think overall I thought it was a good movie. So I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because that's about my average score. But yeah, I'd give it a 7 out of 10 because, like I said, it didn't blow me away. But I thought there was stuff to like, and then yeah, I'd say it's about on par with what Ant-Man was because I gave Ant-Man a 7 out of 10.
I mean,
Anyone want to say anything else?
it was a really good movie. I mean, it was a. I mean, it felt like at this point it's important to note when these movies do a good job of just being a movie. And this was there was nothing that really was like you go to the movies to be in a different world and like escapism. And it did a great job of that. It was a solid movie, but there's a lot to like, and I think all our scores were definitely way above average or maybe right on average for Kenny. It was a good movie. Definitely let us know in the comments what you think about 65, and also go in the comments and let us know what you think about the movie. But then also let us know what are some other dinosaur movies outside of Jurassic Park that you think are ones that we should check out or ones that are out there we don't even know about. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.